Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today I have a change of plan. So recently we've been doing App Inventor tutorials, but I feel like we should start with Snap first. It just came to my mind, and I feel like Snap is another software created by MIT, and I feel like if we start with Snap first, it'll be easier to understand App Inventor. Like you'll be able to pick up things really quickly in App Inventor if you start with Snap first. So if you're like completely new to programming, I really recommend Snap. It's a really fun to learn environment, and it's also very easy to get concepts from there. So to go to Snap, you just type in Snap MIT, and it's basically the first link you see. And then all you have to click is Run Snap Now. And this is basically the screen you'll come to. So you can just start making blocks and programs if you would like, but to save them you should log in first, and then you can save your program. So I'll log in. And then my password. Okay, so it is connected. Now basically I have logged in. Now you can explore these blocks on your own. It's actually not very hard, but mostly the motion and the looks blocks are mostly for animation. So if you're creating games like Flappy Bird or the ball and the stick, or like a shoot game, then motion is really useful for that. The programming part is mostly in control, sensing, operators, and variables. And this section is actually very important. If you know this, it'll make knowing App Inventor really easy. So basically, we'll start with a very basic program. So what we will do is the user will enter two numbers, and we'll just add the numbers. The program will add the numbers and tell the user the answer. So for example, the user enters 5 and 8, and then the program will return 13. So we're going to go to control and start with this block. When the flag is clicked, so basically in App Inventor, when you just launch the program, it begins because obviously it's an app. But in Snap, you have a start, a pause, and a stop button. So you need this block to start the program. So when the flag is clicked, the very first thing you want to do is ask the user. Now the thing with programming is that you have to break concepts in very small, like fine details. You can't just skip to, when the program starts, you want to add the first number and the second number. How did you get the first number? You know what I mean? Like you have to think in very precise details. So when the flag is clicked, you're going to prompt enter a number, and you're going to wait. Then this is the block you need to use for the answer. So whatever the user inputs, that answer will basically come into a variable called answer. So for example, that's how it looks when you enter something, and you can enter whatever you would like. So basically, this is how it looks when you ask. Now, you have to make a variable. Now, variables are just regular variables that you see in math. For example, A or B or X, Y, whatever, and you can have as many variables in your program as you want. And that's the thing I love about variables. You can have a gazillion variables and your program will still work, and that allows you to customize your program however you want. So I'm just going to make a variable called first number. And I'm going to set this variable first number to the answer. So whatever the user enters, I'm going to call it first number. I'll also make a variable for the second number. You can really call these variables anything you want, but the only thing I recommend is that when you make a variable, please have no spaces in this name because it's going to cause a few problems. So it's just recommended that you just have one single name or something. Yeah, or something for your variable. So I'm going to set my second number. Oh, but before I do that, I need to ask for the second number. Enter a second number. So you enter a first number and it's saved in a variable called first number. You enter a second number and it's saved in a variable called, you guessed it, second number. Now, what you have to do is go to operators. Now, operators is really useful when it comes to strings. So this section down here is strings. This section is comparison using and, or, not. This section is also comparison, greater than, equals to, and less than. Less than, equals to, and greater than. And this section at the top is basically all math, right? There's mod, there's rounding numbers, with this block you can do lots of things. So you can find the square root of a number, or the cos or the sin, the log, any exponents. So this is a very important block too. And these are just our basic operators: plus, minus, multiplication, and division. So you want to use this operator, plus. So you want to just go in looks, and in looks you can say something. So when you say something, this sprite, whatever sprite you want, you can customize it in costume section, but right now the default is a turtle. So this sprite will basically say the first number plus the second number. Now, when you're programming and when you get an input from a user, you want to be really generalized. You don't want to, you don't know what the number may be. So that's why we have variables. So you just want to add the first number and add the second number, and that is basically what the sprite will say. Now, when you click flag, you can also test out your test out your program to see if the answer will be correct. So our first number is 5, and our second number is 7. And as you can see, the sprite said 12. So yeah, and that's correct. 5 plus 7 is 12. And as you can see, it also documents your numbers at the top. So if you want to troubleshoot if there's a problem, it's really useful. If you don't want these here, you can just uncheck them. Basically, that's for plus. You can change this and have subtract. So the first number minus the second number. And it will say that. So enter first number 12, enter second number 4. 12 minus 4 is 8. Yeah. And basically this is the very, very first tutorial. You can also explore how to use multiplication and division. I feel like it's very straightforward. Mod is actually very simple too. It's just basically the remainder of a division problem. For example, 5 mod 2, so 5 divided by 2 is the whole number, which is 2, and then the remainder is 1. So 5 mod 2 would equal to 1. And you can also test that out. So say first number mod the second number, and it will basically give you something. So I said 5 mod 2 is 1. So 5 mod 2 is indeed 1. So thanks for tuning in, everybody. This was basically a very short tutorial of Snap. Stay tuned. I'll be posting every day. I'll try my best to post every day. And if we get really familiar with Snap, it's actually really, really fun to program. So thanks for being here, guys, and stay tuned for more videos.